People who don't understand football analyze with stats. Anyone? Does anyone prefer to speak?
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble.
Dude, what is happening in this thread? So they're talking about the production of this particular soccer player. Which part of his production is downright poor? This is a player/coach issue, not a production issue. Here are his stats. Someone says, wow, weirdly different numbers. I was going off a lazy radar glance. I'll have to dig a bit deeper. This, even though he does have some pretty high points here, would suggest his numbers are not as high. But you can see here, like, we got him at 2 places with 80th percentile values. Whereas here, we got 80th, 90th, 70th, 60th. This has, like, 40th and 15th. Lower numbers here. Friends don't let friends use radar charts. Look, you're gonna have to take this up with the higher ups. I'm just a board member. Ted fought it out with Luke Bourne, and well, the software still spits out radars. Didn't realize this was such a live issue for you guys. This has been a long-standing debate within the NBA community. No better shibboleth out there. You're wrong, and so is Daryl. The objections to radars are the same that can be applied to any data viz, just with more force, because a radar has N access instead of just the 2 there to screw up on most. I will not be taking any questions, and good day to you, sir. Your worst take. Radar charts convey zero substance. They're indecipherable at a glance and have the added bonus of being analytically unsound. You could not design a worse, I'm guessing, data viz if you tried. I dare you. Dare accepted. Luke Bourne from 2017 here. A reminder blatantly plagiarized from Sam Ventura of why radar plots are misleading. I focuses on area, not length. This actually is conveying the exact same info. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maxed areas. This also has 5 maxed areas. Then you have another 5 here that are min. You have 5 here that are min. Area can be misleading. If you are a casual and you were looking at these graphs, it's possible that lazily evaluating this info, you may consider this player, these attributes greater than these attributes. But let's just assume all the variables are the same. This and this would be the same. I played Persona, I know how this graph works. Yeah, exactly. I've seen skill trees before. Good data visualization communicates data really accurately without having to know much of anything about what's happening, right? Pew Research puts out end of year, like, favorite graphs that they did, favorite plots that they put out there. One of them was this, like, plot of Elon Musk before he bought Twitter and after, and then followers for politicians, right? And there was a pretty clear point where follower growth and follower, like, loss was there are political bounds to it. The argument against this data viz was time was on the y-axis and not the x-axis. We covered this on stream. That was sort of one of the last things I thought about, was time being on the y-axis and not the x-axis. It was such a small case. The communication of the viz allowed me to see, like, okay, marker, Elon buys Twitter, divergence of red colors and blue colors, each line represents a particular user of Twitter. It just so happens that they're all politicians. All the red lines had increases in followers, all the blue lines had decreases in followers. It was very clear. It was clear what it was supposed to say without having to know much about it, right? There is some bias against certain politicians and in favor of other politicians, given Elon purchasing Twitter. With all of that said, again, I didn't need to know a ton about the info to know what the viz was supposed to be explaining, right? And if I did want to know more about it, there was a nice little write-up from Pew. This is one of those data visualizations where you kind of start headed into the direction of you're obscuring information in favor of aesthetic a lot of the time, right? This much area taken of this plot is different than this area. But really what matters is the values that we're plotting on the chart, right? These are equivalent to these values. So when we look at this versus this area is larger, therefore we think this is better. But really, the values are the exact same. It's actually difficult to easily or lazily evaluate radar plots, right? Because in these charts, you conflate the actual value of each of these spokes with the size that it occupies, right? That's clearly, at the very least, confusing, and at the very most misleading. No better how do you say this word, chat? Get me some TTS for this.
Shibboleth.
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 Thank you, Donald Trump.
Shibboleth these nuts.
Got him!
Don't clip that.